So Spider-Man has been through some of the most absolutely terrible things imaginable, but everybody knows about Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy. So instead of giving you guys a long drawn out intro about that, I'm gonna give you an intro speedrunning the worst things of his life. 1, 2, 3, go. He was forced to grow up without his parents. Uncle Ben dies because of his selfishness, gets his parents back just to lose them again. Gwen Stacy dies from his webbing snapping her neck. Gwen Stacy cheats on Peter with the Green Goblin and has 2 children that she never tells him about. Kills MJ with his radioactive fluid. He gets a cool new suit that takes over his body at night involuntarily. He gets buried alive and his reputation gets ruined by Craven, gets called a menace every single day by J. Jonah Jameson. Aunt May gets shot with a bullet meant for him. God tells him that his problems really aren't that bad. He makes a deal with the devil that ruins his marriage with MJ. He dies in the body of his greatest enemy. Bits of his consciousness remain and he has to watch his greatest enemy live his entire life and ruin it. He has the privilege of watching variants of himself from across the multiverse get eaten by space vampires, and he has to rinse and repeat this cycle of vicious pain and death for his entire life. Did I miss anything? We start off by seeing Spider-Man, but we don't really know where he is or who he's talking to. But what we do see is that he's asking these people why his life is so bad. He knows that he needs to be the best man he possibly can be, but he feels like he's trying. And although he tries to save everyone all the time, he brings up Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy, basically saying that he thought the point of being Spider-Man was to save people, but all it seems to do is kill people in his life. He talks about meeting Mary Jane and how he thought everything would be okay with her, but then that got screwed up too. He basically describes his whole life as being 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. And at the end of the day, he's just not sure how much longer he can take always losing. But then we see who he's talking to, and that is different versions of himself from across the multiverse. And let me just say that suit on the left has got to be one of my favorite Spider-Man suits I've ever seen. Anyways though, Peter didn't really tell any of these Spider-Man anything about himself before bringing this up. So they're all kind of just like, who asked? But the leader seems to be the Fantastic Four guy, who kind of just says that this is Peter Parker with the traditional spelling. And the Spider-Man on the right kind of just roasts the whole 616 universe. However, eventually the white Spider-Man notices something odd and he shows his tablet to the Fantastic Four Peter. And all they can really say is something doesn't look right. They don't tell Peter what they saw, but they ask him how they can help. And Peter basically just says that he thought that since they were him, they would know how to fix all these problems. And they kind of ask like, how could we even help with that? And he's like, shared experiences, I guess. But here's when they lay it on Peter. They say that their lives aren't bad. They're actually really good. One of them just got a Nobel Peace Prize and the other one has his 3rd child on the way. And Peter basically calls bullshit on this. He's like, there's no way, you must be the only 3 in the whole multiverse. But then they open a portal showing seemingly infinite amounts of happy Peter Parkers. And all our Peter can say is, that just can't be right. And then the Spider-Man with the cool suit basically just confirms that they're all happy. And finally they tell Peter that the problem is just really him and that he's not cut out to be Spider-Man. Then white suit Spider-Man comes in and doubles down, saying that he needs to just quit or stop whining. But then Peter finally realizes that there's no possible way that his variants are this mean because he's so nice. So he says that they're messing with him. And this part is just amazing. They start dying laughing, talking to each other, being like, did you guys see his face? Peter's kind of butthurt, but they just grab him by the shoulder and start talking to him. Fantastic Four Spider-Man says that he did actually get a Nobel Prize though. But then the cool suit Spider-Man says that he actually has cancer and his life is not good at all. But after he says that, they all finally get serious and they tell him that the reason that bad things are happening to him is because he's Spider-Man. Being Spider-Man means you put yourself in the eye of every single storm and eventually things are gonna happen that aren't good. Peter understands and he begins to step back through the portal that he entered to get there, realizing that no matter how many times he falls down or no matter what happens in his life, he's always going to get back up because he is Spider-Man, which I personally think is a great way to end this tiny story. At the end of the day, what they said is true. He puts himself in danger and sometimes bad things happen, but him being Spider-Man is what transcends that and what allows him to keep going no matter what. I mean, think of that speed run I did earlier. All of those things could potentially be life ruining, but his responsibility made him get back up and continue doing what he was doing every single time. And to be honest, before he even talked to the other Spider-Men, he probably knew the answer to his own question. But you know, sometimes you just need to hear the answer from someone else, even if that person is yourself. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you could do me a favor and hit that like button or subscribe if you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to comment all of the terrible things that have happened to Spider-Man that I forgot or missed in my speedrun. And I will see you guys later.